Welcome back, YouTube. This is another Subaru STI video here. Today I want to talk about why did I get a WRX STI. So I'm out here in Southwest Virginia driving up some back roads. One of my favorite things to do. So this all goes back to about the year 2001. I was 17 years old and I just bought Gran Turismo 3 for the PlayStation 2. So give or take a couple of weeks, we got into the rally stuff, and I guess some friends were like, yeah, pick the WRX STI, that's the one. It was the JDM, probably pre-Bug Eye, 1990s model of STI that had the 275 horsepower because of the gentleman's agreement between all automakers in Japan. So everybody, Supra, GTR, Skyline GTR, everybody said they had 275 horsepower, but that clearly was not the case. So I started racing this thing and through all the rally tracks, and it started becoming my go-to car when I bought 4. That was like the first thing I got after I was able to afford it. And the obsession just started to become to grow the more and more I played with this car. I remember back in 2006-07, my summer breaks were basically spent playing with the WRX STI. So the story progresses. I graduate from college. I have a crappy Kia Sophia. I upgraded to a 13 Civic SI because the Kia was kept on breaking down. Then I decided to realize that yes, I'm getting to the point in my career I can definitely afford a WRX STI, or so I thought of. First experience with Subaru was with a 16 WRX base model. It was basically what I could afford at the moment, and also the dealerships were like marking up these cars. Like I look at some and they're like $50,000. Who pays $50,000 for any kind of sporty compact car? Whether it be the Type R, Pacific Type R, they're still trying to sell those things for like 50, 60 grand, and there are some dealerships a little bit more honest. So think about it. So I was driving around with the WRX for a couple years. I saw the Civic Type R at the KC Honda dealership, and I was like, yeah, that's tempting, but it kind of reignited my spark. It's like I've owned the WRX for a couple years. It was okay. Braking performance wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. So I was like, hatchback or STI? And I realized for like 3 years I would get these weird dreams at night about me trying to oh look, there's a deer. Trying to take the car to the dealership and trade it in for STI, or I might do something weird like trade in for a Honda Accord, but I'm like, it's a weird dream. Why would it be trying to trade in a pretty good all-wheel drive car for something that's, I don't know, I don't really have that much use for it. A little bit too big for me in my state of life, and it was between that or some weird stuff or the STI, and it's usually like spend an entire day trying to get to a dealership, and they're like, oh, we're close, you gotta get to that one, or some weird thing. So saw that Type R, I was like, maybe I should do this or not. And then I was like, nah. I went to the Casey Subaru dealership, and I was like, I saw something I like. It was a similar car to my black WRX, and they're like, oh, we don't have that. That's still on a truck or something like that, or a ship heading toward the United States, or from port to the dealership. So they're like, well, we do have a 2019 Limited. It is a manager's demo car. And I was like, I can get this quicker. Plus it was limited. It was the one I was thinking, like, that was like a base STI, so no moonroof, no Recaro seats like that. And they're like, well, what do you want for it? 40, 39, 38. I was like, 38's good, because it just turned out I got this car for cheaper than the one I came for the dealership for. So that was pretty awesome. And there's some traffic on this road, so better be careful. So am I disappointed or happy I waited this long to upgrade? As it turns out, it's probably better that I waited until now to get the STI. And this is just from my engineering train of thought. Like, it's been in the market forever. This configuration started back in 2004, 2005. This EJ257 engine, same turbo, same transmission, with some minor upgrades over the years. It gives them plenty of time to work out all the things that is wrong with the car, like head gaskets, piston rods. For this model, they still have the 6-piston Brembo brakes in the front. So new for this year is improved exhaust, improved intake, improved ECU, forged pistons. So I think they had some problems with the pistons. So that made the car even more bulletproof than it already was. Plus they fixed a lot of the head gasket stuff. And usually if you're going to have some engine problems, because you are just beating the snot, like shifting down, and for like this never gets old. And this thing will handle, it'll do anything I want. So got the car, it's upgraded from the factory over the years. It's probably the best STI you're going to get, except for the 2020. They're probably going to do a little bit more stuff, especially in the premium trims, but this is about as good as it gets. So I want to talk about the first time I hit up the back road. So early March, I got it around March 8th. 2 weeks later, I end up going to Southwest Virginia, just because for personal reasons. Also, I want to show some friends a car. And I came home, dropped off my luggage, got on a back road on the way to get some food, and I was like, first back road was like, didn't really hit me yet. I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I took the turn for another back road, and I was like, holy cow. This is the experience I was thinking about. It felt like I was playing the video game Gran Turismo 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like, the performance was there. The steering, I mean, you probably can't tell, but I'm gonna, yeah. There is no play. This isn't a 1984 Oldsmobile Color Supreme where there's like 4 inches of play in the steering wheel before you feel the car turn. It is instant. You can hug any turn performance is basically what I can imagine. I mean, if I were to get a car, any car, this is how I would like it to perform. Right out of the box. And of course, you gotta pay for that performance. And yeah, so I have definitely paid for it. And I also paying with the gas mileage, but that is not one of my biggest complaints. So I don't have really that much complaints about this car so far, but there are some weird things going on when I have passengers. Even with the 16 WRX, I will go some back roads, and the car handles pretty good. Not as good as this one, but I'm like driving up some back roads, staying the speed limit. Even on turns that people usually brake, I mean, I'll just keep going speed limit or 5 over, and passengers will start getting feeling a little car sick. It's like, so that's odd. And then I got the WRX STI, and it took one of my best friends up some back roads over a mountain where it's like kind of like this, 15 miles per hour for 3 miles, and he got car sick, which is kind of weird because this guy is we've been through a lot together. He is an adrenaline junkie. He's driven fast cars, currently owns a pretty fast motorcycle. Get into this car, gets car sick, which is weird. It's like the stiffness of the suspension, I guess it just tricks your brain and and the fluid in your middle ear area, where you see a turn, you expect to see some body roll, some natural stuff. Your body's trained to feel this, inspect this over your lifetime. Get into this car, absolutely none of that. Gets car sick. And he says I was not doing anything crazy, I was not showing off. It was just like the craziest thing. So that is basically the only real complaint I've had about the car. If I could think of anything else, maybe the funny things, like, it gets a lot of attention. I'll be driving and kids will just break their necks, turn around trying to stare. Even grown-ups. I was parked at a 7-Eleven in Newport News, and I was paying for some stuff, and there's this woman just taking pictures, going paparazzi on my car. And when I got my car, she came out the store and just like, oh yeah, I got a friend who's like in the military or something. I was like a 13 or 14 WRX STI. I always take pictures and send pictures to him whenever she sees a better looking car. And I was like, yeah, this is stock. She's like, oh my goodness, this is blue L stock. I'm like, yep, the wheels, except for the tint, that's aftermarket. So I guess this will conclude my taping of this episode of me talking about my car. So if you watched to this end, I suggest you to leave some kind of comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends if you want to, and I will see you next time.